like 2 years in my practicing as a general dentist, I figured, like, should I become a surgeon? I did not expect the amount of stress that I have had in the first 2 months. The first 2 months was just beyond. I started as going at my team like as a military guy, because as I told you, that's what I knew. And I figured this is not good. So I'm switching my whole philosophy, my whole strategy into, you guys take the lead. This is your department here in the front.
I am here today with Dr. George Saleeb, owner of Legacy Dental Studio. I had the opportunity to come do some video work here at his practice and was able to hear just the amazing stories of his happy patients, see how awesome and happy the staff was. It was really just a model of doing good work and growing the profession. And so I'm really excited to get to talk to him today to learn about his journey and the things that he's learned along the way. So thank you for talking to me.
And thank you, Marina. Thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
So let's start from the beginning. How did you come to be owner of Legacy Dental Studio?
Oh, okay. So, owner of Legacy Dental Studio. So I graduated back in 2020 from University of the Pacific. I started practicing as an associate, which is an employee in the outer world, and then came the opportunity to work in that practice back in 2021. So that practice at that time was in transition mode. The previous owners at the time, and they were a big staple in the community. Their name was Dr. Lemon Morris. Were owning that practice since, I think, 1989. People in the community of Antioch, Brentwood, Oakley, Pittsburgh, they loved them. I've seen that with my own eyes because I shared the floor with one of them, Dr. Morris, for about 8 months. But at the time, they were transitioning, they were retiring, so they were kind of moving on and selling the practice to another owners. During that time, I joined, I continued. I was working part-time, then switched to full-time, came another opportunity, so I switched back to part-time. But I've always felt a connection to this practice that I never wanted to leave it, even with other opportunities. Then came at the point, this February of 2025, the owners wanted to sell the practice. And they were looking around. I've been around the longest as far as one of their associates. They offered the practice and they were like, you've seen all the patients. You have a good footing here in the community. So are you considering it? So I did my due diligence and my heart was in it. So I've decided to move along and assume the responsibility and become the owner of Legacy Dental Studio.
How was that making that decision? Was it an easy one?
No, no, it was very hard.
Really?
Yes. Reason because it was very hard has nothing to do with the practice itself, but it has to do with my own like plans and things in my head. Because at a time, like 2 years in my practicing as a general dentist, I figured, like, should I seek specialty? Should I become a surgeon? Because I'm very gravitated towards surgery. And I had to venture out and call my previous professors at the school at the University of the Pacific and find mentors and find people who can help me navigate that part. Like, should I invest another 3 to 6 years into education or start learning more about what I like and gear whatever general practice I would have and do more of what I like within the umbrella of general dentistry. So here and there, and it was an on and off. So buying the practice wasn't the easiest decision because I wasn't sure that I'm making the right decision for the long term for me. However, through a couple of years, I figured, like, okay, some doors have closed in front of me, and then I figured, like, I will put my weight in and put my foot down and explore the opportunities. And I'm not going to shut doors as I used to do to just seek one single route. I'm going to try and see. And if it opens, then maybe the universe is opening its doors to me and kind of move in that direction, George. And this is going to be good for you.
Yeah.
So when I started actually the due diligence process for this practice, I felt things went much smoother than I thought.
Okay.
which is usually not what I hear in business transitions. Of course, comes with some hiccups, of course. Like nothing is very smooth, but it's just smoother than what you would
Felt
expect.
right as you were going through it.
Yes, 100%.
Interesting.
Yes.
It's interesting you said too, when you came here, you always felt like attached to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what made me very attached to it were I had the image of that practice. Like I saw that practice when it was run by the owners who were here for 25 years. And that I just can't take that image out of my head. Hence why the name Legacy.
Yeah. You're carrying it on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I met with them actually before buying or transitioning to owning the practice here. I met with one of them, Dr. Morris, the one I worked with, because we kept the connection going. And I told him, by the way, this is where this is going. And he was very appreciative and grateful for it too. So yeah, so that's how it came about.
If someone were in your position where they're thinking about, maybe I start my own practice, maybe I do something else, was there anything anyone said to you that helped you make that decision, or what would you tell them?
I don't think anyone told me specifically, you have to do this. However, Marina, I have to be, I mean, very honest on this point. I think sometimes I'm a very sensitive individual. And by sensitive, I don't mean that, um, let's put it that way. I'm a sensitive individual. Let's put it as a blanket statement. I'm not going to elaborate on it too much. But with that said, I feel it coming from people. Like when like I surround myself, I try, and I'm blessed in that front. It's not my own like heavy lifting only. It's I try to find good people and surround myself with that they would give me good advice. And I hope I give them good advice too. So I have several friends who actually helped me a lot, kind of clear the cloudedness that I had about making decisions regarding professional and life stuff. So there were some people who actually sat down with me and kind of walked through the points. Like, here are the good things if you decide to own their practice. Here are the cons if you decide to own their practice. What I would tell someone in a blanket way is you have to see it in you. Is it something you want to do?
Mm.
Do you really want to own a practice? Because owning a practice is amazing, yes, but at the same time, it's very demanding.
Mm.
And I'm still learning.
Right.
I tell my team I am a baby in leadership skills. Okay, even if I have leadership skills, I'm still a baby. This 6 months or 8 months.
I think the fact that you can say that, though, is already a good step in leadership skill.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so you learn, and but I think you're not going to go wrong with it. So what I would tell someone is, if you feel the urge in you, please take the step.
Mm.
Okay, make the move. Make the move, and if it doesn't work, it's okay. Life will go on for you.
Right.
You're not gonna get into ruins, because you can always, move on and give the practice to someone who can run it.
Right. Listen to the call.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So you're, what would we say, 8 months in? Okay. So what would you say is something you didn't expect when you started? Something that's come up since?
Something
We have time.
I didn't expect how much learning I should go for to know how to gather my team around the vision. And I did not expect the amount of stress that I have had in the first 2 months.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
the first 2 months was just beyond.
You think that's just part of the process, or was there something that you could have maybe done differently?
I think it's a mix of two things, Marina. I think it's a part of the process you're learning, and my personality too,
Okay.
which I am someone who like wants to take things to perfection and wants to understand things very well and get into the nitty gritty. And I come from a family that's mostly military and policemen.
Okay.
I am an outlier. It comes to choose, and it's not a rebellion against anyone, by the way. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, even I think if I am a police officer or something, or a military guy, I will be so much fun. I mean,
Yep.
working that. So it's not a rebellion or anything, but I am grown into a culture of like, you have to have control over things. You have to know how things are done. So that added a lot to my stress levels in the first 2 months, because
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. On the clinical stuff, easy.
Right.
admin business.
That's a lot to learn too, right? You're right in a transition. Do you feel like you're more comfortable with that now, or have you let go of needing to know everything?
I think I'm more comfortable with it,
Okay.
and I am more working towards empowering my team. So that's the part that I would like at some point for them to have the power to make the calls and call the shots in a different word. And me not me I want to know how things are done,
Right.
but I don't want to be involved in it on a daily basis.
Yes. That's a hard transition. So even in my own business, like the day that they came to me and was saying, "Oh, actually, we're going to do this way," and I wasn't a part of the process, and it was a great decision. It was weird. That was like a turning point, and I think that's hard for a lot of business owners to get to, just in general, because it's your baby. It's like their responsibility now. So, but you have a great team. I'd you hire them? Were they here from the previous owners? How did that work?
The back team was here from the previous, so we transitioned with them. The team in the front, I hired them. There was one actually who transitioned with us, but she is out on maternity leave. So we're just waiting for her to come back and be part of the team. We hired the hygienist, so there was no hygienist. So I think 50% of the team is hired, and they have the tenure of about anywhere from 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
And half of the team has been here for about 3 years.
And that was your first time hiring anyone?
It's
Okay, how was that?
hard. I'm hoping the podcast doesn't turn out to like it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's all hard.
I always say it's a good thing you didn't know how hard it was going to be because you might not have done it, but I'm sure you're glad you've done it. At least yours, right? Tell me a little bit about that. Now, from 2 months, all that stress, now 8 months. How are you feeling about this vision now?
I'm very excited about the future, and I am more calm when I see things that initially when I see them, let's say numbers or actions by the team that at the time would kind of send me jumping. Now I'm like, it will happen. It will happen. It's okay. Chill out. It's okay. So I've learned that it works out,
Right.
but it doesn't work out on its own.
Right.
Like you have to be focused and you have to invest in your team and you have to make them know that you respect them and you appreciate them. So one of my weak points is I started as going at my team like as a military guy because as I told you, that's what I knew. And I figured that this is not good. It doesn't help them grow.
Right.
So I'm switching my whole philosophy, my whole strategy into you guys take the lead. This is your department here in the front. Okay. I want 1, 2, 3, 4 done. Please do them and let me know how it works. Okay. Come up with your own scripts, come up with your own approaches. Like here's the bigger picture. You do it in your own way, your own personality.
I imagine that's better for them, but also for you.
100%.
Yeah.
That's much better.
Right. You're not chasing fires every day that aren't actually fires.
Yes. Yes.
What would you say is the number one quality you've needed to have to get from 2 months to 8 months and then now farther into
Farther into the future, I don't know. I was starting there because this sort of ended.
definite?
Because I think you just have to keep an open mind in learning. Yeah. And I hope this is not just a cheesy line because it's really true. You know what you know when you go into something. I think walking into the practice, I thought this practice that is doing this, this, and that. I'm pretty sure I can do that. 100%. Easy. But then you're faced with a lot of things that are coming your way. You're faced with questions coming from patients. Now, those patients are your patients. You're not an associate anymore. You're not an employee that just gets to go home and chillax about whatever that didn't go the right way. No, you have to learn. You have to learn how to manage these different curveballs that come your way along the day. So I think if I say what I have to learn and what I am learning is to be open to learn. Please, George, be open to learn all the time. Don't ever think that you've got it. At least so far, I mean, we hired a consultant because we wanted to get their opinion on things. Come over, see us, how we're doing it. I'm connecting with mentors in the community here to Some of them are retired, just to come and see like how are we walking around. Like I had one of the very respectable to restorative dentist who retired and sold his practice to a friend of mine now. And he walked in, and once he walked in, he told me the first thing, "Hey George, have you noticed your front?" And he told me like there are weeds that are coming up, and we had to cut them because it's not looking good. So things that I wouldn't
Think about.
I wouldn't think about, but people are teaching you. So be open to constructive feedback. Surround yourself with mentors. Be humble and open to learning. Because if you just think that you got it, it's going to be a hard journey.
Yeah. I imagine that's a good philosophy just for life in general. But it feels like you've really come to face very tangibly how that works out here in your journey so far.
Yes.
Which is cool. What does the future of Legacy Dental Studio look like?
Again, I think the future is tied to the past of it. My vision for this practice is to bring it back to the staple in the community that it once was. Again, the practice had the trust of the community with the doctors that were here for the longest time. And because I saw that, so that's where I want that practice to go. So I want that practice to mirror the trust of the community into the hands of the team here. That we will care for you, we will do good by you, and we're with you in your journey, in your oral health, and even in your like life. Like we're here. You see your dentist more than you see your physician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
yeah.
I imagine, there's in the very immediate future, you're probably bouncing between clinical and admin and marketing and right. So what are I guess what piece of that do you think is part of achieving that vision? How very tangibly, like what does that physically look like in the next couple months for you?
In the next couple of months, can you
Yeah,
let's
for his next few stats, what does that physically look like in terms of do you got hiring more people? Is that getting more patient thing?
right now we're focused into getting more patients in and honing our systems,
Okay.
like the new patient experience and recall patient experience, and how we can tweak it into a place where we feel that the whole team is working in a harmony. The step after that, as this is happening with growth of the new patients and everything, the step after that is to start looking, once we get to a certain size and busyness, for additional team members, whether they might be assistants on the team in the front or a doctor to help us out, and start kind of focusing more into bringing in more patients. Our practice is there are 9 rooms for patients to be treated. So definitely it can host. Yeah, there's room to grow from a numbers standpoint.
What have you found is key in that new patient experience that you've been working on?
Marina, I think people are looking, generally speaking, to feel valued. So you have to value their time when they come in. You have to have the practice looking good, but take that aside. I mean, it has to look good. Now we are in a very aesthetic world. Like you have to be presentable. But I think the most important part is to show them that when they are here, they're your main focus. So give them the time, give them the true time commitment in your exam, in your conversation. Get to know them, get to know where they're coming from. Assure them that you're going to work with them.
That's big. I mean, we work with a lot of our clients on, the side of the following up, right? And that the follow-up is very specific and warm and that it's very relevant to the exact treatment that they got and things like that. But I think a huge part of what you're talking about is just what people say to them when they're in here and just that personable connection, which, can only be done by the people that are physically here and the doctor. So
Yes.
it's just that focus, I think, goes a long way.
Yes. Yeah, the follow-up systems are very important, but I think it's a spark of the connection first,
Right.
that they feel like if a patient walks in and they feel like they've been waiting for 30 minutes of no way, like what are we doing here? Why am I waiting this long? You're already losing points.
Right.
Now you have a hill to climb.
Right.
Bear in mind that people doesn't want to, I mean, they would like to spend their time somewhere else. Generally speaking, So don't start on a bad foot. Like we said this in our team meeting one time. We said meeting a new patient is like you're going out on a date. Okay. So if you're going out on a date, and it involves too the follow-up, but going out on a date, how you would want to look like? You want to smell right. You want to be groomed well. You want to be on your A game, right? You want to look great and act great. And then you want to text nicely afterwards. Hey, that was a nice time that we had together and all that stuff. And how about we see you again?
Well, and just like a first date too, any misstep is magnified, right?
Exactly. Yes.
I love that. You also mentioned potentially doctors in the future, saying more doctors. That's big, right? Because that's now very tied into the quality of the care that you're giving. And so I know you're not at that point yet, but is there anything you've been thinking about as you move in that direction? How to find the right doctors? Do you have a network you pull from?
I am still building that network within the community here. And I have a network that I built throughout. Like there are some doctors that I know that their work is great. Like I would let them work in my mouth,
Okay,
basically.
good.
So that's, yeah. The thing is when I grow to that point, I hope they are free to come and join. But I think it all comes through. I I heard this one time from again one of the mentors who owns a couple of practices, very successful gentleman. And when he hired me, he said that I love that. He said we hire personality and we teach skill. So what I care about the most is if you have the right personality, if you care,
Mhm.
but you're lacking a little bit in the skills,
Mm.
you learn that.
Right,
Because skill, I mean, dentistry, I mean, the part that's involving the drilling or this or that, that's a skill. Sometimes needs some honing,
right,
but it's not the deal breaker for me. The deal breaker for me is the personality. Are you someone who is going to instigate issues?
right.
Or are you someone who care for the patients, who care for the team? The team is very critical. And bear in mind, I'm not saying that out of like me like knowing how to do it. No, I'm saying it because I've been burned when I didn't know how to communicate well with the teams. So now I learned, no, you have to understand the team doesn't revolve around you. You're part of the team. You're part of a bigger picture.
I've heard people say too, they always say it's always the client first or it's the patient first, but it really is the team first because if the team isn't working, you can't serve anybody.
No.
And it usually takes only one bad apple to mess the team dynamic up. Very important.
It was funny. My lead assistant was joking about it because we had a pretty busy week this week, and I'm walking around. I'm telling her like, can't wait to have my associate. And then she was like, yes, and we're gonna be coming to you and say like, he doesn't know what he's doing.
No, it's not you, no, it's him. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. I always say you always have problems. So I've found even when I'm ready to move to the next stage of my business, I'm like, I'm ready for the next set of problems. I don't even a lot of people think, oh, I'm ready to be home free. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready for it to be smooth. And there's always something, but it's just exciting to get to the next round of whatever problems you're fixing there, challenges, we should say.
Actually, I should kind of savor that statement. That's actually a very profound statement. I like it a lot. Yeah, thank you. So when you're moving to a different stage in your business, you're just getting yourself prepared for a different set of problems.
Exactly.
I like it a lot. It's very nice.
I
Thank
think
you.
it gives you more resilient too.
Yeah.
You don't wear down. You just know, how great it is that I'm out dealing with this because I've made it to this point.
Yes. It's a great way to look at it. There you go. That's a very good business advice.
Just keep grinding. No, everything is so rewarding though. And I mean, listening to your patients, you change their lives. And my life is literally different after working with you. And so I imagine that while all of this is its fun new challenge, that also drives you and keeps you motivated.
Yes, 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 and yes. It touched me deeply. Maybe back to the sensitive part of me, but when I heard those testimonial videos, I was very touched. It was like, wow, that's how much effect you've had on some people's lives, and that's how much they appreciate it. That's amazing. And I'm sure that happens to you also with your business. Like you helped us with like marketing for the
Yeah.
practice, and I told you earlier before we started the shoot that we had a potential hire that came and told us, oh, it's because I saw your photos on the website and on Google, and you guys seem to be a lot of fun. So that's part of your work, and you should be proud of that too.
Well, and it's just reflecting the truth too,
Mhm.
right? So you got to have that.
Yeah, true.
So, but do you feel you've been able to stay with that core of changing helping patients and all of that, even as you become a practice owner?
Yes, it's mainly my main goal is to reflect or gain the trust of the community that when they come to you, dentistry is a very vulnerable profession for the patients.
Right.
You're laid down, your mouth is open, it's drilling. It's like, what if he slips? Like, your mind goes into different places. So you have to really put your trust out there as a patient, as a person, to come and be like, okay, you're going to be my dentist. And we have to take that with the real weight, not just as, oh, it just happened and we deserve it because we're so good. No, someone has given you their trust. So you have to reflect that trust and give them the work that they deserve and the quality that they deserve, no matter what. That doesn't mean you're perfect or I am perfect. I mean, it means you're doing your best
Yes.
to make them feel that you're there for them
Right.
and not just jumping from one place to another, to another, to another.
Checking
Like,
off boxes.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people feel that 100%. So that it makes all the difference in the world. I usually like to finish with just giving you the opportunity to tell people about the practice, promote yourself a little bit. Obviously, you're an amazing doctor and a business owner. So if that, wasn't enough to come work with you and collaborate with you, however it is, but just anything you would want to put out there that maybe we haven't mentioned about your practice.
That's a good question. What I want to say to our community here is this practice is going back to be the place where you have entrusted for the longest time. And that's our goal. We care about you and we know that maybe sometimes you felt differently during a transition period, but we are telling you we're back on track and we are going to represent what you have experienced for the past 25 years. We would love to see you, see your kids, and grow with them.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thanks, Marina. Appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Beautiful.